My name is Audrey Kindred, and I work here at the Society for Ethical Culture. Take a deep breath in and out, and read with me so that we know exactly where we are. Are you ready? The arc up here says we're at the New York Society for Ethical Culture. Here is where we grow ethics. We grow ethics at every age. And what does it mean to grow ethics? It's a little bit like growing your goodness, your way of figuring out the hard questions in life, to figure out what next thing you can do to contribute to your own well-being, the well-being of people around you, the well-being of the earth. Our ethical center is what we're here to grow. So just hold your heart and your head at the same time, and then weave them together. It takes both and your body to be ethically centered. So welcome. Now, I wanted to, tell you about our national ethical culture movement, which I represent here with my very inspiring colleague, Muriel Tillinghast. We represent the National Ethical Service, who has supported our program today, and I'd like to offer the mic to this person who has been a lifelong activist. When we study change makers in our schools, we're studying her work, along with many people you might consider famous. It takes real lifelong change makers to create the positive changes that we find ourselves benefiting from today. Without further ado, let me say, please come and give us your words.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, welcome to this fountainhead of the ethical community in New York. And I just wanted to say a few words to you because our paths may never cross again. And I wanted to leave you with some things, some thoughts that not only hopefully will impact you today, but you'll carry with you for the rest of your life. One of them, I call it sort of the ABC, so just bear with me, okay? Everybody up here has been your age, so you know, you're gonna have your chance too. So A, always do your best. Always be kind. B, be good to yourself. Don't beat up on yourself so much. Forgive yourself for the errors that you make and try not to keep on making those same errors. And C, be concerned about the environment, be concerned about the people that you see around you and the conditions that you will observe. Some of them you will be able to do something about in your time, and you want to know, well, when is that going to happen? You'll be surprised. The time will come. Will you be ready to move? Will you be ready to implement? So with that, I would just like to say that we hope that you enjoy this program. We've worked hard putting some things together, some ideas for you. And again, thank you for coming.
Let me welcome to the stage storyteller Laura Sims.
Well, I'm delighted to be here. And children, although I can barely make you out, I know and feel you are there, our treasures. Thank you for being here. Thank you all. This is a very, 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 very old story, but it could be told and is going to be told today. It was originally told by the Twa, we know them as Pygmy people in the Ituri forest in the Congo Basin. And it's about a bird. Are you following it so far? This was the most beautiful bird in the whole world. And when the bird spread her wings, she brought the rain. Everyone loved the bird. They made ceremonies. They brought offerings. They had dances and songs. They told stories to their children about the most beautiful bird in the whole world. Because we know if there's no rain, there's no life. It's a long story, as long as history, and I'm going to shorten it. There came a time when there were villages, people were busy, so only some people did the ceremonies, made offerings, sang and danced, but everybody told the story to their children. And the bird, the most beautiful bird, brought the rain. But you know, as I know, that people grew busy. There were villages turned into cities, and people thought they had no time. And anyway, that story couldn't be real. And time passed again. And no matter if they told this story to one child, that bird, the most beautiful bird, spread her wings and brought the rain. But people began to think, why should we waste our children's time with make-believe? They should grow up like us. So soon, nobody told the story of the beautiful bird. And after a time, she folded her wings. There was no rain. There was a great drought. People suffered, animals suffered, everything suffered. People turned against each other. Some people tried to find solutions. Other people fell into despair. There was a child, and he was so curious, and he loved to go walking, looking. And he went to the forest, saw the most beautiful bird. And so he ran to his father. He said, "Father, could you give me a little piece of bread for the bird?" And the man said, "We have hardly anything for ourselves. How could I give you bread for a bird?" "Oh, please, please." And just to keep the child quiet, the man gave a little piece of bread. My friends, that night, there was a little rain. Everybody was pleased. And the boy said, "You know, the reason why it rained is because I gave some bread to a bird." "Oh, please," everybody said. He said, "Just give me another little piece of bread." And to keep him quiet, the father gave him bread. That night, there was more rain. And then the boy went in front of everyone and he said, "The reason why there is rain is because I remembered the most beautiful bird in the whole world. She brings the rain." The father said, "Stop with this bird. Show it to me." And he took a bread in one hand, a gun in the other. He followed the boy into the forest. And when the child lifted up his hand with the bread, the man lifted his gun, and the bird fell. The father fell. All the trees of the forest fell. And the boy ran back home. Everyone was dead. And then he saw the mbira in his grandparents' house, an instrument said to be the fingers of the gods. And he sat down in the middle, and began to play and sing. And he told the story about the most beautiful, beautiful bird that he remembered. He remembered the story. He sang. He told the story. And you know, everyone came back to life. The trees came back to the forest. The father stood up, and the bird, the most beautiful bird in the whole world, spread her wings, and there was rain. And the boy said, "We cannot forget." And you know, we cannot forget, for our children are our treasure. Their imagination, their creativity, their innate kindness is what will make our future. Thank you.
Jones. I'm the co-chair of the NGO Committee on Children's Rights. And I invite you to think about what it means to know that human rights are for everyone. I mean, I won't be able to show if you want to show me your hands if you actually have thought about it. And then I also want us to get back to remember when in 1948 the Universal Declaration of Human Rights started. And that one is celebrated on December 10th every year as Human Rights Day. Now we step forward to November 20th, when the General Assembly of the United Nations adopted the Convention on the Rights of the Child, called the CRC. Before November 1989, this day had been the World Children's Day, which had started in 1954. So actually, Children's Day is getting quite old. Ever since November, this day celebrates not only children's, but also commemorates the adoption of the CRC, and I personally call it Young People's Human Rights Day. For the first time in human history, The CRC explains who children are and all their rights and the responsibilities of governments to protect them. All these rights are connected, they are all equally important, and they cannot be taken away from children. In today's program, you will hear from different voices, some young, some old, what the CRC means to them, and I hope it will inspire us to work together with young people and for the CRC. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Therese Folks-Plair, co-chair of the NGO Committee on Children's Rights. Today, on World Children's Day, we gather to listen to the voices of young people and, as Margareta has already said, people of many different ages. We are about to watch a UNICEF video that explains something powerful. It explains that every child has rights. Did you know that? Let's say it together. Every child has rights. Correct. That means that every one of you, no matter where you live, what you look like, how old you are, deserve safety, respect, education, and a world that helps you to grow. The UNICEF video reminds us of a simple truth, that children are not just the future. They are full human beings with rights today. And you know, the first time I heard that said was from a young person who had come to the UN in 1996 with many children from all over the world, and they lived in places where there was war, where there may have been famine, where there were many, many, many problems. And you remember this, Laura. Laura Sims was there also. And we were with the children, and there were artists, there were storytellers like Laura and I, there were musicians, and we were working with the children. And on the second day, the young people who came from all over the world said to us, we didn't come here to draw pictures or to sing songs. Though we thank you, we came to sit in the General Assembly and tell the nations of our troubles and to help us. And someone said that, well, you are the future. And a little boy from Ireland said, no, we are not the future, we are now. And so as you watch, we'd like you to think about the rights you already enjoy and the rights we still need to make real for all children in this country and the world. Thank you.
Have you ever wondered if children have rights? Every person on the planet has rights, and so does every child. Child rights mean that we have the right to everything that helps us be healthy and happy. Nutrition and good health, good schooling, freedom of expression, and protection from anything that may be harmful. Every child has the right to good health care and nutrition. It does not matter if one is a boy or a girl. Every child has the right to education. It does not matter who we are or where we come from. Each one of us should be able to complete school. Each one of us has the right to protection, which means that we need to be safe from all sorts of violence, whether at school or the street or even at home. Just because we are children does not mean that our opinions can be silenced. Only we know what it is to be children. It is everyone's responsibility to ensure that every child has the right to survival, development, protection, and participation. We deserve to be healthy, happy, and full of hope. And we can't do it alone. You made a promise to ensure every right for every child 30 years ago. What are you doing to keep the promise today?
Good morning, and many thanks to Marguerite and Teresa for inviting me to be with you today. My name's Meg Gardner, and I'm the Secretary General for a global children's organization called Child Fund Alliance. And we work in 66 countries to advance the protection and well-being of children. And our particular focus is on ending violence, ending violence against children, providing assistance to children in humanitarian crises, and also to address the critical needs of child rights in a changing climate. It'll be my pleasure to be your moderator today. I did want to give you a little background about what we talked about here, this convention, this treaty on children's rights. And I'd like to tell you a tiny bit about how it was established as a global set of laws and principles. We're going to go back in time about 45 years ago. The world was a different place then, very divided. Now, I know our nation and country and world are divided a bit now in some ways, but in that period in history, we really had a very strong influence by the former Soviet Union, who after World War II had begun to become very aggressive and intrusive in different parts of the world. And then you had the Western governments on the other side of the world trying to stand up to the Soviets and advancing the principles of democracy, freedom of expression, and right to association, freedom of assembly. So there was a tug of war during this period. During that time, and I'm talking about 1980, the United Nations established a human rights session every year in Geneva, to which, over a 10-year period, more than 60 governments came and met and talked about how we can improve the lives of children. It was a 10-year period. Governments from a lot of different backgrounds, and remember, as I explained, it was a very polarized world at that point. But over a 10-year period, with organizations that were nonprofit and had worked daily on the lives of children, so they could bring that experience up to governments, they drafted what we call the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, which was adopted by the United Nations in 1989 and then became global law. Since that time, around the world, as we speak on a daily basis, governments are trying to improve the lives of children using that treaty as a reference. And it is about child survival, child protection, child development, and child participation. One of the great things that I've seen recently is the move toward child participation. For many, many decades, children were not engaged in UN processes, not really given a chance to speak to governments. I am seeing around the world through our members some phenomenal changes. This morning I was on the line with someone from Kenya, and I asked them what they were working on with young people, and they said there's amazing things happening. Number one, Kenya has developed a really good constitution. It was developed in 2010. Yes, governments can develop things, and sometimes they go along and sometimes they don't. But because they have this constitution that's so strong and everyone knows about it, civil society in that country is constantly reminding the government about what their rights are. Young people, because they've used this right here, right, this cell phone that you all know, it started out as a cell phone. Now, over time, we've developed it to access data, to access information. So even if you're living out in, a very remote area, of a particular country. You can stay connected, you can hear information, and young people in Africa are really mobilizing, using digital technology to hold their governments accountable. And there's some great things being done. We don't hear about it every day, but there are, and it's because we've had this shift in thinking about young people and their role. They're not just recipients of things. Of course, we want every child to be educated, well cared for, nourished, schooled, and so forth. But it's also about being an agent of change. And so that's what we're really going to talk about today, is listening to everyone here to think about how can and I'm talking about all of us collectively, be that agent of change, tapping into the talents that we have, the knowledge that we have, the experiences, and all these ethical principles that I think are being developed through this institute of which we call the Ethical Institute of New York, but it's a magnificent organization. It's been around for over 100 years. It's a beautiful building, and I'm just so proud to be here and thankful that I was invited. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to introduce you to Makiko Otani, someone I've known and worked with for many years. She is a former chair of this UN Committee on the Rights of the Child that listens to government reports each year about how they're making progress on the Treaty on Children's Rights. She's an international human rights lawyer. She's based in Tokyo, Japan. She has been involved in many, many activities to advance child rights and well-being. She's really well connected. And at this period in her life, she's totally and utterly devoted to this issue. So she left, her work and her practice on law, and she's working in a number of organizations advancing children's rights. So she'll start us off today with her experience and insights, and then we'll move over to a panel of some really phenomenal people. So Makiko, come on up. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here. So this one, you look at the logo. It's logo of Child Rights Connect, where I am currently serving as a president. And this NGO is actually created as an NGO group for the Convention on the Rights of the Child to collectively submit the inputs from the civil society in the drafting process of the Convention on the Rights of the Child. So it has a special place in the implementation of the Convention on the Rights of the Child. But today, it is true privilege and honor to be part of this event on the World Children's Day, together with children, youth, young people, civil society, colleagues, and friends here in New York. As you all know, and we already heard this morning, the World Children's Day, 20th of November, commemorates the day when the Convention on the Rights of the Child was adopted by the United Nations General Assembly in New York in 1989. This year is the 80th anniversary of the establishment of the United Nations. On this special occasion, it is particularly relevant to recall the connection between the Convention on the Rights of the Child and the purpose of the United Nations. As the preamble of the Convention starts stating, the Convention on the Rights of the Child builds on the Charter of the United Nations, which recognizes that the inherent dignity and equal and inalienable rights of all members of the human family are the foundation of freedom, justice, peace, and social progress. When adopted in 1989, the Convention on the Rights of the Child, CRC, enshrined for the first time in international law the recognition of children as subjects of the full scope of civil, political, economic, social, and cultural rights. Since then, the Convention became the most ratified international human rights treaty in history and has promoted deep, transformative changes for children across the world. More children than ever before now have access to health, education, protection, and participation opportunities. However, children are still largely regarded as vulnerable group rather than individual subjects of rights and empowered agents in the exercise of their rights. With this reality, it is so significant step that the Secretary General of the United Nations issued the guidance note on child rights mainstreaming in July 2023 to mobilize the UN system to collectively strengthen and evaluate and elevate a shared UN child rights agenda across all pillars: peace and security, human rights, and development, including through meaningful and effective child participation. Mainstreaming the rights of the child, who makes up 30% of humanity, will make the United Nations truly serve the humanity. But mainstreaming child rights in the whole UN system requires mainstreaming child rights at the national, local, and community level. The key concept of the Convention, that children are subjects of their own rights, is yet to be fully accepted, translated into the policies and experienced by children in many parts of the world. While the primary responsibilities to realize child rights under the Convention rest on the states, equally important is understanding and internalizing child rights into all our daily activities, interaction with the children, actions and policies concerning the children. It must happen everywhere, in every corner of the society, in family, in school, and in community, involving all sectors of society. It is our shared responsibilities. Each one of us has an important role to play, and the children and young people must be at the center. Their views, their voice, their ideas should be given much more importance. So I look forward to listening to what children and young people speak at critical group of humanity who live now and shape future. Let us expand and strengthen the network and movement for mainstreaming child rights together with children and young people in every society at community, national, and international level. Thank you very much.
Under 18, listen to the song. The convention says your rights are strong. No matter your color, language, or creed, you got the same rights, that's guaranteed. Mass entrance first, that's the plan. Governments must do all they can. Parents guide and the kids still grow. Step by step, we learn what we know. Every kid, every place, got the right to shine their rays. UN says, let's unite. Every child deserves their rights.
Hello everyone, I'm so happy to be here today. My name is Anish Chen. I'm a senior art major attending LaGuardia High School, and I'm also the president of LaGuardia's Equity Team and founder of LaGuardia's Equitable Arts Program. I've also recently shared my ideas at the United Nations Youth Conference and a lot of my advocacy centers Art and Justice. And today, as we honor the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Child, I want to speak for the youth whose rights are most often forgotten, incarcerated youth. The Convention tells us that children have a right to dignity, to education, to culture, to rehabilitation, not punitive punishment. But in youth carceral settings across the United States, these rights are violated every single day. Children here are isolated, silenced, and treated as adults in places designed for punishment instead of growth. Through my research on art and youth carceral systems, I've seen how creativity becomes more than a hobby, but a tool for rehabilitation and advocacy. It gives a voice to the voiceless. That is Article 12 of the Convention, the right to be heard. Art access in prisons can restore humanity, allowing youth to reconnect with their identity and possibilities beyond prison walls. When we invest in creative programs, we're one step closer to fulfilling children's rights, the right to expression, the right to hope. My generation believes in alternatives to punishment, that every child is more than their worst moment. I hope as a society that we can reimagine systems that are built on healing, honoring the Convention on the Rights of Child in action. A society is measured by what it gives to its children. Let's choose to give them the tools to create their own futures and reimagine endless possibilities. Thank you.
All right. Well, I was asked to tell you a little bit about my history of engagement with the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. And I'm particularly interested in speaking to the young people in this room. So I'm going to tell you that I actually have a lifelong relationship with the UN, and I'll tell you why. I was born in September 1945 just 36 days before the United Nations was born. So we're like cousins, born in the same year. And both I and the UN turned 80 years old this year. All through my childhood, I and my classmates celebrated our birthday with the UN. My grade school class at Carrie E. Tompkins School in Croton-on-Hudson, New York, participated in 1955 in the UN's 10th birthday celebration. So I was thrilled to see that the Tiger Cubs celebrated with us today. It may be hard to believe for those of you who are far younger than I am, but when I was a child, there was no such thing as a Convention on the Rights of the Child. Most adults, even adults who genuinely loved children, did not believe that children had rights of their own. Then in 1989, as you've heard before from the other speakers, the Convention on the Rights of the Child was opened for signature, and it just became the most rapidly and universally accepted charter of human rights in the whole history of human rights. Now, by that time, I was almost 45 years old, and I had high school aged children of my own. I'd had a first career as a mother. But I began my second career as a lawyer and as a professor of children's law. I began that career in 1989. Over the next 35 years, I founded centers dedicated to fighting for children's rights, one of them in Philadelphia, another in Florida, and finally in Atlanta, Georgia, at Emory University. Meanwhile, I traveled around the world speaking and teaching about children's rights. In my role as a practicing attorney, I represented actual, real, flesh and blood children. Foster children, adopted children, refugee children, incarcerated children. I appeared in courts at every level, including the US Supreme Court. In my role as a professor, I wrote over 100 articles and 2 books about children's rights. Thinking back on my career, I am proudest of my role as a teacher. I taught in 3 different law schools, University of Pennsylvania, University of Florida, and Emory University. And along the way, I trained several generations of young lawyers. I'm proud to say that many of them are today's leaders in the fight for children's rights. My one regret, now that I am retired and a full-time grandma, is that my own country, the USA, has not yet ratified the Convention on the Rights of the Child. But I think we're all taught as children, and we carry with us as adults, a commitment: if one road is blocked, find another road, find another pathway. The Children's Rights Project at Emory University was the pathway that I chose and worked with to find a new way to bring children's rights into the law of the United States. And of course, the pathway, the vehicle, is the United States Constitution. And I am proud to say that many of the rights that are listed in the CRC are now recognized in the United States Constitution, partially because of the work of my own dedicated students. So that my final word is just that every generation has a mission of its own. Your mission, I'm talking now to the young people, is to defend and protect the human rights of all people of every age, including children. Thank you.
Okay. I remember the day when the nation deeply changed during the presidential election of the United States. I know it's completely impossible to predict the future, but something in my head told me about the massive decline that was going to happen to the social life of America. For example, I realized that without the funding of the Department of Education, children's rights will be really messed up. The education of children has to do with the environment of the school and America's future. While our environment is becoming more polluted daily and affecting people, the law of IDEA is at risk and being dismantled because it sits within the U.S. Department of Education. First of all, I would like to clarify that IDEA stands for Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, which was formed in 1975. And by the way, October 2025 of last month was the 50th anniversary of the original law. While all this is happening, there's an explosion of kids and teens relying on their devices more than they do than their own teachers or their books. There was a New York Times article that was published last week which provided the results of a study demonstrating cognitive decline with kids, use of social media and AI. I'm here today to point out that we deserve a right to a balanced and healthy life. We deserve a right to education and experimental learning. Kids are getting more addicted to technology faster than we can track. It's all very unregulated. While it may appear to be good, without limits and other regulations, it could become something that could change kids forever. So, my final words. The only device you should rely on is the microphone when you realize it's your turn to fight for your educational rights. That's the reality we are living today. It's important to remember that even though the government is existing, they can't control you. You have the power to choose how to use the devices, to your advantage or not. You cannot be controlled. You decide the resources. You have the ownership of your own self. That starts with making an impact with the resources of education instead of relying on an iPad or a phone. That's what I really truly realized, what was wrong with the whole system of devices and technology. Okay, let's be real. Just to sum this up, kids spend way too much time stuck to devices. It's like our thumbs are getting more exercise than our legs. Scrolling TikTok or playing games might be fun, but after a while, you start feeling like a potato on the couch. And I don't think anybody here wants to be a potato on the couch. When we actually get up and move, we feel way better. A natural high versus a dopamine artificial kick. Running, jumping, or even playing tag makes us stronger, and it's way less, and it's much more fun than just staring at a screen all day. So, for the love of humanity, get off your phone.
My name is Marlene. I am a staff member here at the New York Society for Ethical Culture. I am the Director of External Partnerships. So I am very honored to be able to introduce Falou and her artistic vision. She's a Harlem artist from Senegal, West Africa. Her framed artistry, tapestry that we have behind us was inspired by impromptu conversations with children in Harlem about how the youth are the pillars of a better society in focusing on education, mental health, and consuming healthier food. Falou's passion is to work with women and children, youth of all ages, engaging young minds in art as a medium to calm the noise around them. The artist has a multidisciplinary interest and welcomes mentoring the next generation of designers. In addition to being honored to introduce the video, I am also honored to wear this piece of art that was made by Falou. Thank you.
Hello, I am Falou Wadj. I'm an African visionary artist. I'm from Senegal. Art is something that I myself believe being a tool for healing. Yeah, that's enough. What's your name? Kareem. Kareem, thank you for the help. I work with Harlem community, especially the kids. I'm coming.
We got our students getting excited as the paint is being spilled intentionally for them to create their masterpieces.
And so now that same art I use to help kids in Harlem to actually get their thoughts together, to see their inner beauty, because believe it or not, when you're painting, there is a technique, of course, it's a practice, but that helps a lot the participant, the student, to actually be able to see how beautiful they are inside out.
Here we are, we have another group of artists expressing themselves out here, HVA in partnership. Today, first day of the PAL being out on the block. East 124th Street. What do you have to say?
I'm in love. I mean, I always work with kids, but this is absolutely everything.
And the distribution of the paintbrushes. This is going to get exciting real quick.
Yes. Oh, that rolling that. Say that again. Oh. All right. No.
What color? Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are
What's
you?
your name?
Nevaeh.
Nevaeh, and you?
Tiana.
Tiana, nice meeting you. I'm Falu. I'm the artist on this wall, well, the neighborhood artist. So we want to know, right, as kids, what do you guys want more from art for the kids, for the youth?
I want more of the youth to like use art to express themselves and to use it as an opportunity to like show how they feel and just show creativity.
Right.
I agree. I just want art to be like more different with the youth. Like they should be like more like involved in it. That's just how I feel.
Absolutely. Emotions. You see a lot of fun in it. Right. Yeah. Okay. So what do you feel like when you make art yourself?
What you mean?
How do you feel when you make art?
So I feel a lot of creativity into making a lot of art pieces. I created a lot of things this year.
Yeah.
I'm a freshman.
My name is David, and I go to school in Queens. And I think to better society as children, as teens, preteens, you should just focus on your independence and just focus on your health, mental health, physical health.
My name's Kimani. I go to St. Hope, and I think people should be respectful to others, especially kids. Kids will have to fight or anything. And art is a very good project, so you can like learn something new, so you can like fight and stuff.
Okay, so I believe in free healthcare for the youth. What do you believe? Something else that you should have for free, you guys?
I believe that we should be able to have a say in stuff because not like everywhere, usually like it's either under 18 that can't really do anything or express themselves in a different type of way because it's like there's many restrictions to age and stuff.
Right. Yes, so I find my inspiration in nature and water, which I believe is, wakes my senses, my creativity sense in a way, and also activate my energy, my inner energy. So water and nature is something that It's literally my daily life. Every day I go for a walk in Center Park to be in touch with the sun, the trees, ground myself and get back to my, what we call best version, which is your inner self, which is where the authenticity of creativity comes from. So I always try my best to go through nature for my, authenticity to come up for me to create a piece. The time we're living right now, everybody should remind themselves that this whole thing, the whole plan is about love.
Good morning to everyone, and it's an opportunity to be able to share in this great program. I am Dr. Barbara Bethea, and my 6-word story is Poetry Found Me at 7 years old. I am a product of the foster care system, and my mother had 15 children, and I was the last one. And I wanted to speak to children who sometimes feel displaced or don't feel that they have a place in the world. And that can be within your natural family or even in my situation where I was a foster child. But I grew up with a feeling that I did not have a place and that I didn't matter. So I wanted to just speak from that place today and to let you know that yes, you matter. Not only do you have rights, but you are an important part of our world, and that everything and every consideration should be made towards you. I am the current director of the Creative Arts Therapy Program at Rikers Island. I work for New York City Health and Hospital and have been an employee for over 16 years. My process is that I do work with people that have mental health, and unfortunately, due to some of their behaviors and the pathways that they have gone through, they are now incarcerated. I have been at Rikers Island for 8 years now. But I wanted to also deliver a message that no matter where you are, no matter where you stand, no matter what the process has been and the pathway, as the young man Rohan had mentioned, put down the phone, connect to yourself, because that's where the real message is. And I wrote a soul prayer. It's what I call soul prayers, because poetry has been the beginning and also now has led me to a career in my life. Art is the answer. Art is truly the answer, and everyone that has spoken before me has testified to that. I woke up this morning, and this is a message that I would leave with you today. You deserve to have fun and play, to be listened to, and the words you say. You deserve to receive love and care, and that no burdens or you should bear. You are a special gift to life. You should be protected from all stress and strife. You are a blessing, dear sweet child, to be esteemed and not beguiled. You are gifted, intelligent, and wise. Great things in you will materialize. You deserve the very best, never to feel anything less. You are our hope where our future lies. You are blessed children in God's eyes. And remember, you're too blessed to be stressed, young ladies and young guys. No matter where you are, you're too blessed to be stressed. Have a great day.
You are about to hear a message from our oldest living democracy. And what I will tell you is I helped develop the village schools in 1990, and now we have 7 schools, and you are about to hear one from a new school that just opened, Goma. So enjoy.
I would like all the children in the audience to stand up, please. All the children, and put your papers down. All I need is your hands, and you're standing up. Please stand up. That's it, that's it, that's it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. I want you to take your hands, as I'm taking my hands like this, I want you to touch, literally touch the sky. That's it, beautiful. Touch the sky. I want you to touch the stars over here and the stars over there, and I want you to put them in the palm of your hand. That's it. I want you to listen to the stars. Both ears, beautiful, okay. And then I want you to take the stars and I want you to throw them up in the air again. Beautiful. Oh no, that's not enough. Throw them, please. Throw them up in the air. Wonderful. And then I want you to take a little piece of a cloud, just a little piece of the cloud, and wind it around just like that, and wind it around like this, and put it on your shoulder like this. That's it. And then I want you to take a little bit of rain over here and a little bit of snow over here and let it rain and snow right over you like that. And then I want you to take the moon, the big moon over here and the big sun over here. I want you to put the moon on your shoulder like that and the sun over here, just it. And I want you to look like this and listen with your ears. And I brought 3 friends of mine here today. And first of them is Maggie. Where's Maggie? Oh, where is Maggie? Oh, there's Maggie, right on my piece of paper. And you know what she said? She said, when I play, it feels like you can't fall down. And it feels like the stars are carrying me. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Maggie. And guess what? How many of you would like to wonder this morning? Wonder. And I have Desiree who's here, and she said, my thought is pure creation. In it I have the earth, water, and mountains. And finally, Charles, who was only 6 years old, who came up to me and said, Richard, I have something to tell you. I sat down and I listened, and this is what Charles said to me. He was in the 1st grade, and he said this to me. The secret of my imagination is that the things of the universe are the things of you. Please, children, do not forget what these children said to you and what you can say to yourself. You have imagination, you have play, and you have wonder. 3 of the most beautiful and precious qualities of your childhood. Do not leave them behind. As you get older and older, remember those qualities, because they are the very things that will keep the earth and the sky and ourselves alive. Thank you, everybody.
School is free, education's fair. Learn with respect, the world to share. Play and rest, create, explore. Every child deserves much more. Every kid, every place, got the right to shine their face. UNSF, let's unite. Every child deserves their right.
No to violence, no to hate, no to child labor, no to change, no to drugs, abuse or war. Children's safety comes before.
Every kid, every place, got the right to shine their face. UNSF, let's unite. Every child deserves their right.
I'm an early childhood educator. I was a kindergarten teacher. Can you hear me? I was a kindergarten teacher for many years, and we're going to start with a song. How many of you know My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean? Do you know that song? Yeah, we're going to sing it once through, and then we're going to play with it, okay? What sound does B make? Okay. You got it. Grown-ups, children, we're going to sing this song, but every time you hear a word that begins with B, you're going to stand up. If you're standing up, the next time you're going to sit down. You got it? So my Bonnie lies over the ocean, my Bonnie lies over the sea. Got it? We're going to do it one more time, but a little faster. Ready? So, can you hear me now? Yeah. I'm an early childhood educator, as you saw and guessed. I've been lucky to work with children throughout the world, from New York City to Sierra Leone to Romania, Moldova, Chile, Newark, New Jersey, the Bronx, not yet where you live, but anyhow. Wherever I've worked, it's to celebrate children and to help teachers reconnect with the importance of infusing joy into learning. It's vital to me to encourage children and teachers' curiosity, creativity, and their playfulness. I believe that great learners ask great questions, and it's the role of teachers to listen to children. Are there teachers here? To listen to children and to encourage inquiry, observing, questioning, seeking information they need to answer the questions. For children, especially young children, but all children, because you saw how playful you were just now, play, this is a quote from Mr. Rogers. Do you remember Mr. Rogers from television? Play is often talked about as if it were a relief from serious learning. But for children, play is serious learning. Play is really the work of childhood. It's through play that children are making sense of their world. Susan Lin, who's an author and an American psychiatrist, says, play is the foundation of learning, creativity, self-expression, and constructive problem solving. It's how children wrestle with life to make it meaningful. And it often takes courage on the part of teachers to break away from scripted curriculum, from authoritarian leadership, from mandates that don't take into mind the very children in their classrooms. And to quote Congressman John Lewis, you must be bold, brave, and courageous and find a way to get in the way, teachers and parents. One final quote for adults in the room from author Annie Lamott. Don't look at your feet to see if you're doing it right, just dance. And I'll add, the children are already dancing. Keep playing the music and let them dance. Thank you very much.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Hi. Oh, y'all are making me so comfortable. I was in that chair shaking this entire time. Like, actually, can y'all get up with me and get the, like, sillies out? Because I still got a little bit in me. All right. So I have ADHD, so I get a little nervous sometimes, and I get nerves all up in my body and things like that. So can y'all just with me real quick? Just real quick. Okay. I think I'm feeling better. I think I'm feeling so much better. I needed that, and I needed to do it with a group of people, so thank you all. The first thing that I wanted to drop onto you guys is a quote that my brother said to me just the other day. I called him, and I was talking to him on the phone, and we were discussing, we were discussing how intricate adult, specifically young adult life can be. And what he said to me is, your most practical tool has been your imagination. I want you all to remember that as you age and navigate through life. And as the world changes around you, just remember, imagination is your most practical tool. Now, old soul with a prominent inner child, I am proud to be regarded as an educator, activist, and zine maker. Arriving to New York from Virginia over 2 years ago now, I bring my Virginia roots and apply my 25 years of human experience and observation. I majored in creative writing at George Mason University and received a BFA out of love for the craft, but found various ways to apply the wisdom in day-to-day life. My upbringing, community, education, they all shape who I am today. A lover of the youth, elders, and everyone in between, my work is primarily focused on community health, growth, and youth advocacy. Youth advocacy is a beautiful topic, also a broad one. Where my passion lies is the overlap of youth, identity, voice, and tradition. Being aware of how my experiences in school shaped how I perceive and interact with the world has fueled my passion for education. To me, the best possible way to express gratitude for the experiences is sharing the wealth, creating or implementing nurturing spaces, classes, and community that uplift, empower, and acknowledge the voices, genius, and individuality of the youth. When I moved here to New York, it wasn't because I made that decision to. I had visited for the first time since I was 12, just to come and see what's changed since then. When I returned to my 7th grade English class in Chester, Virginia, they asked me several questions. And in the end, they told me, Miss Dunn, we love you so much, but we think you should go there. And if it wasn't for them giving me that advice, I would not be standing here today. That's how powerful youth voices are. Like, Okay. I'm so grateful for them. I still talk to them to this day. They're awesome. Throughout my teaching, my classrooms are inclusive, accepting, and celebratory, making space for my students to be their authentic selves and explore identity as they learn and honor traditions and rituals that resonate with them. Now, my passion specifically lies in the child's freedom of expression and cultural identity. As a young queer Black woman from Chester, Virginia, I had incredibly personalized experience. Through my mom's parenting and its evolution, it's been apparent how important it's always been for her to ensure I express myself authentically and optimally. At a very young age, she recognized that I operated differently from my siblings and even some of my peers. This showed through her fighting for my progression in education and in my interests. Whether it had been in the classroom or in a ballet studio, my mom did not play about me being acknowledged. She understood that I struggled, but she didn't make me struggling the focus. She made me being accommodated the focus, because she knew that I wasn't the problem. It was just a matter of being supported as we all deserve. My family's religious life was very free-flowing, is very free-flowing. And I say our because my mom held us to the same standard she held herself. We approach religion with curiosity and intentions of refinement and understanding. This meant we explored, and where we settled was ours, though sharing conversations weren't off the table. This, to me, embodies the values specifically of Articles 14 and 31. Having been in the military, her strict background didn't hinder her from encouraging me to explore cultures outside of myself. And my mom's identity is informed by her vast experiences from having traveled the world. She found community anywhere and takes pieces of them each with her. Taking root in the South, Chester, Virginia, this environment translated into an acceptance that extends so far outside of myself that it connects right back to me. Respect is a human right, and discrimination against anyone is not an option in my cultural background. This reflects Article 2 and the priority that the child's cultural identity not be isolated or dehumanized by prejudice or discrimination. Talking about the rights of the child, not even just in law, but in practice, is incredibly important to me because you all are our future. And you guys aren't just potential, you all are embodiment. Each one of y'all deserves to believe and understand exactly who and what you are and the power that you hold. There's no better time to become aware of it than at this age. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Food, clean water, doctors near, health and love should all be here. Special care if you're in need, support and kindness, yes indeed. Kids in trouble deserve respect, fair trial, dignity, don't neglect. No death penalty, no cruelty, treat kids kindly, keep it clean. Every kid, every place, got the right to shine their rays. UNSS, let's unite, every child deserves their rights.
So we've talked today a lot about children's rights, and we've talked a bit about some of the laws that are in place to make sure that children have the right to certain things, children and young people. But what we didn't really talk about as much is the whole human factor, the whole sense of what makes us human. And what I want to point out here before I raise the question is that several years ago, there's a professor at the University of Southern California named Emmy Werner, and she studied a group of young people over decades who actually had a lot of hardship in their life. And instead of looking at what went wrong, she looked at what went right. What went right in the lives of these young people who had suffered poverty and abuse and a lot of deprivation. And the one thing that kept coming up from all the long-term research is the unconditional acceptance of an adult in that child's life. We talked today about children's rights, we talked about safety and education and nurturing. Could we talk for a minute amongst our panelists, ask them to reflect on that one person in their life who was so instrumental and really shaped the person who's on the panel to become who they are today? It's a personal reflection, but I would like to ask if there's anyone here that would like to answer that.
So, someone in my life that has been insistent in times that I struggled to in regards to my life. So, this year was one of the most challenging years of my life in the best way possible. And that person who helped push me through it during some of the most frustrating points is actually in the back. Don't look, she's shy. But she's in the back. And a lot of the encouraging things she said to me was, the fact that you're still persisting says a lot about your character. And in some of the worst times, the real you shines through. And at the time, I was like, this is so, I don't even feel good about myself right now. But the point was that I persisted long enough to be able to see that person shine through. And that was just a few months ago. To look back at who I was then to now, I still love that girl. But I also appreciate that that girl that was empowered also loved herself enough to be here right now.
For me, it's definitely not one person. It's definitely both my parents sitting right over there. They supported me. They supported me like throughout my education so far, and yeah, they've been the best, honestly. So I love you guys.
I am very proud to say that one of the persons who's been a deep influence to me is my daughter, who is sitting right out here, Sarah. And she is presently helping other children learn to read. And the beauty of reading is really the beauty of being able to see the world through other people's words. And I hope all of you will see the written word and the spoken word as something that will in fact influence you all. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. I would say the person that has really influenced my development would be my first art teacher. I was the kid who would always have an eraser in my left hand, and I would always erase all of my sketches, but my art teacher taught me to stop doing that. He took my erasers away, and I feel like that's really shaped my own perfectionism, and I always strive to repay his kindness, and now I teach art to other children, and that's been such a huge part of my own identity. I've found so much fulfillment to teach other people how much the importance of creativity is in their own lives. So yeah, thank you guys.
So many people have influenced me. I'm going to just name one person, the folk singer Pete Seeger. I don't know if he's from Croton-on-Hudson. Right. But as a kid, I looked up to him so much, and one of the things I admired so much was that he had really strong beliefs about social justice, and he even went to jail for those beliefs. And I held him up as a role model for myself. I haven't gone to jail yet, but I do strongly fight for human rights, and he's in my heart somewhere and gives me that courage. So first.
Yes, I'm going to be brief. The first poet I heard on WWRL radio, AM, was Nikki Giovanni, the late Nikki Giovanni, and of course Maya Angelou. Both poets have influenced my life, my thinking, and the way that I move in the world. Thank you.
Yes, this is such a wonderful question. I think the person that influenced me the most is my husband. My husband, we were married for 55 years. He passed away in 2022, and every step of the way, he believed in me and he encouraged me. And I really have to say, although I adore my parents and they were wonderful, I have to thank my husband for that.
Thank you to both Barbaras online. Thank you for sharing. Okay, we are about to finish. Is there anything else that we should know about?
I'd like for you in the audience to just hold your heart for a moment and think about who you might be answering for yourself on that question, and know that that's really important for your life. So each one of us need to find those people who are completely supportive to us, okay? And we're going to say thank you to our panel with an applause. And
Food, clean water, doctors near, health and love should all be here. Special care if you're in need, support and kindness, yes indeed. Kids in trouble deserve respect, fair trial dignity don't neglect. No death penalty, no cruelty, treat kids kindly, keep it clean. Every kid, every place, got the right to shine their rays. UNICEF, let's unite. Every child deserves their rights.
thank you for your patience. We're going to have some final words, and then our song is going to be our farewell.
I hope you have not only enjoyed the program, but that you've learned from it. I hope that we have put fire in your belly. Do you know what I mean when I say fire in your belly? That means you're ready to get moving in the direction that's going to fulfill you and your life mission, and we wish you the very best.
So, wow, what a morning. And we thank each and every one of you who've come today, youth, adults, old and young. Thank you to our youth, the CRC performers, storyteller, the panel of youth activists and dedicated adult professionals who work every day to protect and uplift children. And thank you to everyone joining us for this World Children's Day celebration and the anniversary of the UN adoption of the Convention on the Rights of the Child. This morning, under the theme of The Future Speaks, we witnessed something powerful. We witnessed young people using their voice with courage and creativity and truth. We heard from professional adults who are committed to ensuring that every child's right has to be honored. It's not only in laws, but in everyday life. As we close our time together, I hope one message stays with each of us, children, youth, adults alike, and that is to say to yourself, I have the right to be me. I want you to take a breath, and I want you to say, and when you let it out, say to yourself, I have the right to be me. Now I want you to say it out loud. I have the right to be me. Yeah. And every child everywhere deserves a chance to say those words and have them respected. Please carry this truth with you, share it, protect it in others, and thank you for being here today. The future has spoken, and we are going to continue to listen.
Thank you for New York Ethical Cultural Society. We're bringing you the song on children. I've learned the song from Sweet Honey in the Rock. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and the daughters of life, longing for itself. They come through you, but they are not from you. And though they are with you, they belong not to you. You can give them your love, but not your thoughts. They have their own thoughts. They have their own thoughts. You can house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in a place of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You can strive to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you. Strive to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and the daughters of life, longing for itself. They come through you, but they're not from you. And though they are with you, they belong not to you. Hey, you can give them your love, but not your thoughts. Oh, they have their own thoughts. They have their own thoughts. You can house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in a place of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You can strive to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you. Strive to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you. Strive to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you. And those were the words by Cahill Gibran. All right. Thank you, Barry Kornhauser. Do pray here. Thank you, everyone. Thank
From
you.
it, I hope that we have put fire in your belly. Do you know what I mean when I say fire in your belly? That means you're ready to get moving in the direction that's going to fulfill you in your life mission, and we wish you the very best.
So, wow, we thank each and every one of you who've come today, youth, adults, old and young. Thank you to our youth, the CRC performers, storyteller, the panel of youth activists and dedicated adult professionals who work every day to protect and uplift children. And thank you to everyone joining us for this World Children's Day celebration and the anniversary of the UN adoption of the Convention on the Rights of the Child. This morning, under the theme of The Future Speaks, we witnessed something powerful. We witnessed young people using their voice with courage and creativity and truth. We heard from professional adults who are committed to ensuring that every child's right has to be honored. It's not only in laws, but in everyday life. As we close our time together, I hope one message stays with each of us, children, youth, adults alike, and that is to say to yourself, I have the right to be me. I want you to take a breath, and I want you to say, and when you let it out, say to yourself, I have the right to be me. Now I want you to say it out loud. I have the right to be me. Yeah. And every child everywhere deserves a chance to say those words and have them respected. Please carry this truth with you, share it, protect it in others, and thank you for being here today. The future has spoken, and we are going to continue to listen.
Thank you so much for making the journey to come to Ethical Culture today for this program, The Future Speaks.